planet, or the human population, is supposed to reach 9 billion people by 2050, and this worries me. Can the Earth sustain that many people? Today I'm going to talk about one aspect of sustainability: food. Humans need a certain number of calories, and about 1/5 of those calories should come from protein. Why? Because we need protein to create our tissues, to build our DNA, and to do things like make our nervous systems function. We can get protein from both animals and plants, but these forms of protein are not the same. Animal protein tends to contain all of the essential nutrients we need from protein and is easier to digest. Plant protein, on the other hand, is more difficult to digest and is often deficient in some way. Humans can get enough protein by eating plants only, but animal-based protein will remain an important source of protein for humans. So, can we produce enough protein to feed the human population? This is where a lesson from ecology can help guide us. In ecology, we have something that we call the rule of tens. When an animal eats plant biomass, only 10% of the biomass it eats actually gets converted into animal biomass. That is, 90% of what it eats is used to fuel its physiology or can't be digested and is lost as animal waste. In essence, energy transfer up a food chain is simply inefficient. So, can we produce enough protein to feed the human population? And the 10% rule is only an average. Some animals, like cows, are less efficient. Other animals, like chicken, are more efficient. So how can we use this information to teach us how to feed the growing human population? Well, we can clear more land to produce more crops to feed more animals. And we are doing this. In the 3 minutes I'm up here today, we'll have cleared about 450 acres of rainforest, which is largely used for crop production. We can try and decrease food waste. So for instance, every time we throw away or waste 2 pounds of beef, it's the equivalent of wasting 50 pounds of grain because of how inefficient it is to transfer grain or plant biomass into cow or beef biomass. We can try and engineer our agricultural systems to be more efficient, and we are working on this. However, at the end of the day, we cannot outwit or out-engineer the inefficiency of energy transfer completely. It is simply a property of food chains. So what else can we do? We can try to eat more efficient forms of protein. For instance, in America, we tend to like the most inefficient protein choices. We could decide to try and shift our diet towards more efficient forms, such as chicken, animal products like eggs and milk, and more forms of vegetable protein. And what about our oceans? The same tens rule applies, and unfortunately some of our favorite choices like tuna are at the very top of the food chain, making them very inefficient choices. As we try and increase food production and protein production from our oceans, we'll need to look lower on the food chain at animals like tilapia and scallops, which are herbivores, making them more efficient choices. So in summary, as humans try and create more sustainable food systems, and in particular more sustainable protein sources, human plates may need to contain a little bit less tuna and beef, and a little bit more of the more efficient protein choices such as these.